Hello, good people. So for today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips and tricks so that you could look your best while working from home. Let's get into it. Hello, good people. It's your girl, Lindsay, the fashion professor, and welcome back to my channel. If you could be so kind and subscribe to my channel so I can continuously give you great information of how you can continue to stay fabulous. So I want to address and chat about the big elephant in the room. It's called Corona. It's called Corona, people. It's called quarantine. It's called executive order. It's called these crazy things that we didn't even know about, before like March such and such. So quarantine. And I really want to unpack how are we all dealing with this? And I'm not just talking about, okay, you're in the house with your family and, and that's what it is. I mean, the kids are eating all the snacks. I mean, moms and dads are cooking like we never cooked before. Like, where's our food going? I mean, it's going everywhere. So, because we're cooking every day, I mean, morning, noon, and night, and we're all in the house together. So my video today, I want to just give you some tips and tricks, 5 tips. I'm not gonna go all out because I have a lot to say, but I'm not gonna do it right now. But 5 tips to get you to be productive at home. And when I say productive, I mean you are still expected to work. Those of you guys who are blessed enough to still have a job, you are still required to show up at your job, even if you are quarantined and you have kids running around, husband and wife still calling your name and doing all sorts of stuff. So I would like to give you 5 tips on how you can survive being home, working remotely from home during the pandemic, right? Tip number 1 is getting your mind right, period. Point blank into the period. Getting your mind right, which means that when you wake up every day, try your best to get your mind right, which means that you want to wake up and intentionally be able to live your best life that particular day. Now, it's difficult. I get it. You turn on the news and all you do is hear about the pandemic and all this stuff that's going on, and we're easily distracted, and I get it. But if you can wake up and find what will make you get your mind right, that's all that matters. Getting your mind right sets the tone of the day. It gives you a reason on moving with intention. It gives you reasons on putting goals together and reaching those goals. It gives you a reason to basically continue on and be productive and show up at your job. Show up at your job, show up with your family, and more importantly, show up with yourself. So when you wake up every morning, wake up with the mindset that it's going to be a great day no matter what I face, because I decided to wake up intentionally with purpose. And I decided that no matter what I face that day or how challenging things are, I am able to rise above that. Now, that's hard. I'm not saying that is easy, but I'm saying is that you have to put your best foot forward with waking up, with getting your mind right, waking up with intentions, waking up and doing things on purpose, and being in this situation in this close proximity to your family and not having social contact and this social distancing things can be difficult. But tip number 1, try your best to get your mind right. Tip number 2 is for you to create and develop a routine. Now, when you create a routine, it does a couple of things. 1, when you create a routine, it creates that level of organization. Even if you are not an organized person, it creates the structure for you to be organized as you can be, and put some doable, tangible, measurable, I like the ables, goals in place. Which means that when you wake up, and what it also does, that's number one. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. That's how I am all over. That's why you need a routine and a schedule so you don't be all over the place. Anyways, so you doing that will also get everybody around you on a routine. So if your routine is to, pray, meditate, whatever you do, and then you get yourself together, and then you get the kids together, then you make breakfast, and then everybody who has children, you go into school time, and everyone that's teachers, you go into school time, and everyone that's out there working, you have work time, and then it's lunch, whatever the case may be. It not only gets your mind ready to work, but it also puts everybody around you at ease because they realize that there is a routine. It does something to your space. It allows your space to be clean and clear. It allows people to have an expectation. They know that during this time to that time, that this is what you do. This is what I do. I know that when we started, my husband and I started the pandemic because we're both teachers. So what we did was we actually started like having school, like a school bell. And at first it was like funny. But then it ended up being something that my kids expected, because the first week of the pandemic, both my husband and I had to be teachers, but then my children had to be students. And then now we're home schooling these kids. And then we're both caretakers of our parents. So they would call us, and everybody was just all over the place at first. So we had to create a routine where they know that between the hours of 7 to 9, that is a time to contact Jimmy and Kay. And then from 9 to 3, do not contact us because we are at work. We have our attention to our students and our jobs. So tip number 2, create a routine. All right, everybody, I'm getting into your face because you guys know what I'm about to say is the truth. You just know, right? So let's just talk about tip number 3. Tip number 3, getting your workspace together. And that is so true. This is like revolutionary. Like, who would have known that this would have even be a thing? Like, I know that, a lot of us work from home, and, a lot of us have that experience, but then there's a lot of us that we're like, what you mean I got to create my workspace? Absolutely. Creating a workspace does something to you. It does something to you where you will now be able to have a different type of poise and posture. You feel different. You're more productive. I remember for the first, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm being honest, I was on the couch. Not that I was on a couch, like laying on a couch, but the first week I pulled up the recliner of my couch and I was just working from my couch. And then it came to me like, boom, okay, listen, first of all, you have to get your mind right and stay on routine, because that's tip number 1 and 2. But also the people around you need to understand that this is your space. So not only did I get my space together, also keeping it organized and keeping it tidy for a number of reasons. 2, so you can get to everything. And 3, because if you're anything like me, and probably a whole lot of us that are remotely working, you have a lot of Zoom calls, video calls, Blue Jeans, Zooms, Google Hangouts, Skype, you name it, we're doing it, FaceTime. And so people are now into your house, and people are judgmental. Don't even act like you're not. The minute that something's out of place, you're like, I knew they was dirty. I knew they was dirty. You started to start judging them and not focusing on what's going on. So keeping your workspace is key. So tip number 1, getting your mind right by supporting the routine. And on top of that, getting your workspace. Your house is your house. Your work is your work. Your laundry's over here, the kitchen's over here, but your work is your work. And also your husband, kids, whomever you live with, your mom and dad, your dog, they know when I hit that line, I am at work. So like Rihanna used to say, work, 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 work. Get your workspace right. So tip number 4 is self-motivation. It's so important that you are replenishing yourself with affirmations about you and about things around you. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about when you're in a meeting, right? Come on now, feel me now. Or my fashion students. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When that one person come in and we trying to get ready for the show and they're like, it's always that Debbie Downer. That always the one that swears they're a realist and that they're not negative. Well, we have a tendency to beat ourselves up. We have a tendency to worry so much that is actually eating at our productivity throughout the day. And so tip number 4 is self-motivation. And whatever that is, your tip number 4 could be, with your self-motivation can be, you like to listen to music that, that says, you're a beautiful person. I like to listen to my Mary J. Blige, fine, fine, fine. I like what I see when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, or this girl's on fire, whatever it is, self-motivate. Some of you guys like to get on the phone with your homegirls or homeboys or whatever, however you roll, and say, hey, what you doing? And and I know with me being in the fashion industry, sometimes we get really caught up into what we're doing and we kind of lose sight until it's like a show or it's a fashion week or, market week. And then we kind of like come out this shell. But now we don't have that shell. We don't have market week. We don't have fashion week. We don't have fashion shows. So we now have to try to self-motivate. And I believe that is so important. So while we're supporting getting our mind right, part of it is telling yourself how amazing you are, despite of everything going around you, despite of what you're facing, despite of what it looks like. You have to self-motivate. You have to surround yourself with positive people. Google hang out with your girls and say, listen, however you roll, you don't have to drink to have a happy hour. Your happy hour could just be a happy hour where all you're doing is talking about the remember the time type of stuff or remember when you did that type of stuff. So self-motivate. Self-motivation is the greatest thing. So I would say that tip number 4 is for you to self-motivate. Now we're getting here. We are getting there. We are at tip number 5. Tip number 5. Tip number 5. Look at my hands. These are quarantine hands. No nails, whatever. Don't judge me. Judge the rona, not me. All right. So guys, tip number 5. The last tip, but I got a lot of tips, but they're going to come. If you subscribe, you'll know the other tips. Okay. Tip number 5. Get your remote wardrobe together. You heard me? I mean, really, it saddens me how people do not understand that when you click video on, video off, video on, video off. When you click video on, folks, people get into your world. Like you in my world right now, yeah, I got a lot of shine going on and I got a lot of stuff going on with my face, but that's what this virtual world is, people. If your working from home wardrobe is that you want to be as much on point with your wardrobe. Okay, let me stop. I'm gonna take that back because some people are gonna argue with me and say, "Well, I'm not gonna do all that. That's doing too much." And I get it. Maybe I'm being team too much right now, and I'm sorry. No, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm taking that back. I'm not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. Because I believe that when you click on your camera, people expect for you to show up, and no matter what we say about, I don't care what I look like. I'm going to tell you a secret. You should. You really should care what you look like. And the reason why is because people want you to show up. They want you to show up to work. Your husband wants you to show up as a wife. Your wife wants you to show up as a husband. Your children want you to show up as a mom. Your mom wants you to show up as a daughter. it goes on and on and on and on and on. And showing up is making sure that what you have on or what your face looks like, or you don't have to have the expensive clothes, but being tidy, being neat, and showing up, it speaks volumes and expresses how you will deliver. With some people, they think that the way you look is how you will deliver. And that is the truth with some people. So what I'm telling you is number 5, make sure that your wardrobe, remote wardrobe, is on point. And if you subscribe, I promise you, I'm gonna give you several tips of how you can get your wardrobe right. So thank you guys for listening to me, and you guys take care. Be blessed, continue to be amazing, continue to be great, and continue to live your best life. Peace out.